Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review is the third and final season of Ulysses 31. This features on the 3-disc box set and DVD. There is a YouTube channel that has kind of remastered all the episodes. If you want to check that out, you can search for Ulysses 31 Remaster. This has 8 episodes, as we follow our heroes to see whether they get back to Earth or not, or whether they're left to endlessly drift in space. Obviously, if you're familiar with the cartoon series of Dungeons and Dragons, you know, they never got home, but that was because this show was actually cancelled, but in some ways it actually worked, just the fact they were lost in this realm forever, which was actually quite enjoyable. So I'm just going to go through the episodes again, a brief synopsis, to see if Ulysses and Telemachus and Nono and Yumi and Numimor all get back to Earth and Zotra. So the first episode is The Hidden Truth, which they come across a strange girl who's acting like a robot. There's lots of coming across strange girls in this season. And this is about the struggle of Naropolis under the Sharkmen, who are tridents, pretty much working for Poseidon. And they've changed the name to Scaropolis, and the people are controlled by jewelled brooches that they wear round their necks, and Ulysses obviously has to save the day. Solid start, but then episode 2 is one of the best episodes in the whole series. It's called The Magician in Black, because it features a magician who wears black. The Odyssey is under attack, again from Trident ships. The Trident features more and more in season 3 as the gods get more and more annoyed. Again, the message of this whole adventure is the gods are selfish and annoying and petty. So the ship's on fire, they have to break out the robot firemen who have hoses for arms, which is a nice touch. But then magically all the damage seems to get repaired. They go down to this planet, and it has the Magician in Black, and he brings the crew out of suspended animation and brings them back, which is obviously very pleasing to Yumi. She gets to see Numenor again, and they all have hugs. But as part of that deal, the Magician in Black wants to hunt 3 of the crew. It's a nice riff on The Most Dangerous Game. He has Zotrian slaves, which obviously Yumi and Numenor notice, and he's going to keep the crew as slaves if he defeats the 3 people in the hunt. And of course these 3 people are Ulysses, then Numenor volunteers, and Telemachus volunteers. Ulysses gets to pick what kind of arena for the hunt, and he kind of picks a mountainous region of Earth because he's familiar with it. That's where he used to hunt, apparently. It's a great episode. It's one of the best ones in the series. And then episode 3 is Rebellion on Lemnos, which is a nice Battle of the Sexes story, as again they find a shuttle in trouble with an attractive she-alien, so Ulysses automatically wants to help her. And they go to the base on Lemnor, and all the women have been put in prison. All the men are lazy and don't do anything, and the women are forced to work in the factory and make trident ships for the Sharkmen. And they've had enough. They went on strike, so they've been put in prison, but the Sharkmen obviously want their ships. And it's up to Ulysses to unite men and women against their common enemy, the Sharkmen. That's a wonderful story. Episode 4 is City of Cortex, where all the robots on board the Odyssey, including Shurka, the computer, all lose power, and they're sucked towards Cortex, who's a supercomputer who wants to use up all their energy. We're introduced to a female Nono, essentially, who's yellow instead of Nono's red, called Nanette. Again, it's another good solid episode, but maybe not one of the best. And then we have back-to-back really good episodes, some of the best episodes in the whole show. Episode 5 is Calypso, which is a distress call from a woman in a crystal planet who's under trident attack. Yumi's ESP goes off and she pretty much thinks it's a trap. Even Telemachus is like to Ulysses, this is probably going to be a trap. And Ulysses goes, yep, I know it's probably going to be a trap, but I'm still going to go because there's just that chance that she's actually in trouble. And so Ulysses goes down to the planet, and strangely enough, it's a trap. Zeus has blackmailed Calypso to kill Ulysses because he's at this stage of season 3. The gods have had enough of Ulysses messing about. So the sun is damaged. There's crystal sun. Ulysses comes up with an idea to fix it. Calypso tries to have him killed, but she just can't quite do it because one look in Ulysses' beautiful blue eyes and his flaxen hair and his wonderful beard, Calypso starts developing feelings for Ulysses. You know, who wouldn't? Her crystal hair starts glowing and glistening and tingling and getting bigger. And she can't quite do it. Zeus continues to be a bit of a douchebag. It's a tearjerker episode, literally, as Calypso's tears revitalise the planet and make it beautiful again, but at what cost? It's a really good episode. Then we have episode 6, which is Strange Meeting, which is another classic, because again we're in another crystal planet. Also lots of crystal planets in the universe of Olympus. The kids, while on this planet, fall down a big hole, and Telemachus goes through a time tunnel, essentially, and goes 5,000 years back in time, and then Ulysses is charged to go back in time, find the original Ulysses, make sure he gets back on the throne to have a chance of his return to Earth. It's a wonderful episode as, you know, the two Telemachuses meet and Ulysses helps out. You have all these 108 suitors of Penelope, the original Penelope, who want her to decide who her next husband's going to be because Ulysses isn't going to come back. And she finally bows to pressure and says, yes, I will if you can shoot Ulysses' bow through 12 battle axes. Again, it's such a great episode as Ulysses from the future helps Ulysses from the past. It's a classic episode. Episode 7, again a more famous one from the Greek myths, is the Lotus Eaters, which is about eating seeds that make you forget. So again, we join the crew while Telemachus and Ulysses are jogging. Still jogging, happens in space. Nono is making pancakes, you know, down to earth episode. And then meteors turn into trident ships, attack the Odyssey. They end up in an emerald planet to hide and do repairs on the Odyssey. And there's dinosaurs on the planet, and they meet butterfly people who eat the lotus seeds. Ulysses eats some lotus seeds and completely forgets his point of the mission and Earth and his teammates, I was going to say, his crew members, until Telemachus, with the help of one of the butterfly people called Lota, helps Ulysses back. It's another solid episode. And then we have the season closer, episode 8, The Kingdom of Hades, where they finally get through the galactic glaciers and get to the Kingdom of Hades. And then Zeus had promised Ulysses that if he gets through the Kingdom of Hades, he'll show him the way back to Earth. But as we know, Zeus is a bit of a git. The Ulysses, the Odyssey is covered in space moths, which kind of suck all the energy. They crash on a snow planet, but that's actually the outskirts of Hades. There's a nice touch, there's still a river Styx, but also the boatman is in a shuttle, Cerberus, who in Greek mythology is like the three-headed dog guardian of the way into Hades, is strangely enough a spaceship with like 3 laser guns attached. And then they go to the city of the dead, they meet Orpheus, who is trying to get Eurydice back, as in the Greek myth. There's a nice escalator up to death. I'm not going to go too much into what happens. You'll have to watch the episode for yourself to find out what happens to Ulysses' crew, whether you think it's a satisfying ending to the show or not. But what a journey we've had with Ulysses and Telemachus and Nono and Yumi and Numimor and Nestor. The show to me still holds up almost 40 years later. The music's great. You have the melancholy stuff, you have the kind of upbeat action music. The characters are great. Yes, Ulysses seemed to be falling for traps all the time, despite Yumi saying it's probably a trap. But just that mix of the future but with old Greek myths. It's just a wonderful show. Again, they're all free on YouTube. Somebody took the time to remaster them in HD. But you can also get them in this DVD set. 3 discs for 3 seasons. 26 episodes, so it never really outstays its welcome. You know, there's solid episodes, but there's probably about 10 absolute corkers. Yeah, wonderful show. It still stands up 40 years later, in my opinion anyway. So please let me know what you think of Ulysses 31, Ulysses Season 3 specifically, and let me know what your favourite episodes are out of the 26. So who knows, I might do another cartoon series random reviews in the future. So thanks very much for watching this entertaining and educational show, and hopefully you'll join me again for more random reviews. This is Solitude Ronin from the 31st century saying farewell.